Hey everyone, Cody from Mactelecom Networks. Today I am really excited to announce a new product by Ubiquiti, and that new product is the Unifi Express. The Unifi Express is a small, powerful gateway that runs Unifi network, has integrated Wi-Fi 6, or it could simply mesh as an access point. We could also connect the Unifi Express to our existing infrastructure like the UDM Pro or the UDM SE, and it would just act as an access point. I want to thank Ubiquiti for not only sending me one Unifi Express, but two so that we could do some meshing and do some testing with it. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. There's going to be a lot of Ubiquiti content coming out. If you'd like to hire me for network consulting, visit my website at mactelecomnetworks.com. And the best way to support me, I do have an affiliate link with Ubiquiti where you can pick up this new Unifi Express unit. Now let's take a closer look at the Unifi Express. And this is the Unifi Express. And you may be thinking to yourself, did I not just see this in another video? Well, you didn't, but they do have the UXG Lite, which is the exact same form factor. The only difference between these two is the LCD screen on the front. The LCD screen on the front will show us a couple different things. It will show us our clients connected and our throughput. If we're using one of these as a mesh unit, it's going to show us our signal strength to the main unit. On the back of the unit, we have a 1 gig WAN connection, a 1 gig LAN connection, and then we have a USB-C to power it up and a reset button. The Unifi Express has built-in Wi-Fi 2x2 multi-user MIMO, and it could cover up to 1,500 square feet per unit. It could also have 60 plus clients connected to it. Also in the box is a 6-foot USB-C cable, and they also give you one of their Ubiquiti patch cables. Now, a few more things before we get this Unifi Express set up. It comes in at $149 USD. If you're looking to cover your house that's about 1,500 square feet, you'd only need one unit. If you're looking to cover about 3,000 to 4,500, you'd need 2 or 3 units. Now let's go ahead and get the Unifi Express set up. I'm going to be doing it from my phone as it's managed by Bluetooth. You can also do this from your computer. You should be able to see in the camera view that the Unifi Express is in factory default. It's saying download the app, which I already have done, and I'm going to open the Unifi Network Controller. Now we're in the Unifi Network Controller app, and you can see a new device has been found, which is the Express. Above, you could also see it pending adoption, and that is in my UDM SE. So if we wanted to use it just as an access point, but we're going to set this up new, so I'm going to press Setup. Now it's asking us our setup type. So are we going to set this up as a new system, or are we going to add it to an existing system? Our second Express unit, we're going to add to an existing, but since this is the main unit, we'll do it as new. Now this is where we're going to give it a name, and I'm just going to call this Main Express. For the Wi-Fi name, I'm just going to call it Unifi and give it a password of test1234. Now we have the Main Express all set up. You could see under the devices, we have the Express unit, and then we have a USW Flex XG, which I'll be using for this setup. But first, let's switch this to dark mode. So we're going to go to the settings, and then we're going to go down to system. Under system, I'm going to click on dark mode, and then we're going to apply the changes. Now let's go over the topology and see how everything will be connecting. At the top, we have our internet connection going into our main Unifi Express unit. From the main Unifi Express unit, it's going over to our switch. And in the switch, we will be connecting a Zima board to do some open speed test, as well as some Iperf test. From our main Unifi Express unit, we're going to be doing a wireless mesh down to our secondary unit, which is on the middle floor of my house. Currently, it is just sitting beside me until we get it adopted. Before I get the second unit adopted into our network controller, I'm going to do a network upgrade because we're sitting at 7.4.162 and the newest one is 8.0.7. Now with the network controller updated, we could see the second Unifi Express showing ready to be adopted, and this will all be done over that wireless mesh, so we'll click to adopt. Now the second Express is in our controller, and we could see the connection type is connecting to our main Express, which is a wireless uplink. You could also see here in the picture what it's showing on the LCD screen, which is just our Wi-Fi signal. Now let's take a look at the overview of the Unifi Express. It pretty much looks the exact same as every other Ubiquiti unit. We could see the name, which they've given it, the UX, our Wi-Fi experience, IP address, MAC address, and our device version, as well as our WAN and our air statistics. Under the port, we have our port manager, which will just show us our 2 ports. The one is going to the USW Flex XG, and the other one is connecting up to my internet. For our main unit, if we want to change the name, we need to go right into the Unifi OS settings, and then we could set our different radios. But currently, this is all done by the global config under the Wi-Fi settings. Now, right from the dashboard of our main Unifi Express, we could see our meshing, and then we could see the second Express, and it's getting a minus 52 dBm. I did move that onto the main level of the house. Now, one thing on this dashboard that's missing is the speed test. On the normal UDMs, UDRs, UDM SE, you would have a speed test for your internet connection. There are a few other things that are missing as well. If we go into our settings wheel and then we click on security, they don't have IDS or IPS, or as some may call it now, suspicious activity. And the reason for that, I believe, is because they only have 1 gigabit memory, and that's being used mostly up by the Unifi network controller. Another thing that isn't there is the threat map. So if I click on this little shield icon, it's going to show us our gateway. The only things that we could look at is the traffic and the filtering. If we go to my UDM SE, we could see traffic, filtering, and this geo. Within the Unifi network controller, though, on the Express, we still can do country restrictions. Now we're going to do a couple tests. I did create another VLAN, which is on VLAN 2, and I put this computer on it just to test the inner VLAN speeds. I do have a Zima board that is sitting on our default network, so we're going to test the inner VLAN routing speeds, and we should be able to get a gigabit. Now on open speed test, we'll press start. And our results were 790 down and 922 up, which is pretty close to wire speed. We're now going to run some Wi-Fi tests using Iperf on my iPhone. The first one will be in this office, and the main Express is sitting right beside me. The second one will do it from the main floor, and the last one will do it from the basement. This first test, I will show you on screen what I'm doing. I'm running an Iperf server over on my Zima board. You could see the server address of 192.168.1.8. So we're going to do the transmit mode first of our download, and we're going to go for 30 seconds with 5 streams. I'm going to also do the upload, and we'll do this on the main floor and in the basement. We should eventually switch over to the meshing AP, and we'll see what speeds we get, so we'll press start. For our download for the Iperf, we are getting 606. Now let's do the upload, and then we'll do a speed test. And for our upload, we are getting 447. Now we're going to do a speed test, and I have a 3 gigabit connection going into the Unifi Express, but we will never go past a gig because that's all the interface would allow us. And we are getting 587 down and 461 up, which is rather good. So now I'm going to try on the main floor and in the basement. Now let's look at the test results from the different floors. The main floor and the basement, my phone was connected to the mesh unit for both. So on the main floor, we are getting 129 down and 133 up. That was for the Iperf test. For the speed test, we were getting 118 by 119. In the basement, we were getting 102 down and 87 up. That was for the Iperf. And then for speed test, we were doing 124 by 83.2, which really is pretty good. I only have a TV downstairs, and that's more than enough speed for me to be able to watch Netflix. Now, who is Unifi Express geared towards? I would think the home user. You could get one unit, plug it into your internet connection, and if you need more coverage, you buy a second one and it can mesh together if you don't have any physical cable through your walls. Another great way to use the Unifi Express is for a travel router. I was using it for the 2 weeks that I was in Hawaii and was connecting it to NordVPN and running all my traffic through it, and it worked excellent. The places that I was staying were about 1,000 square feet to 1,500 square feet, and we had perfect Wi-Fi the whole time. If you have any questions about the Unifi Express, please leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.